few looks at skills and hobbies of Lamar's students, as well as a huge shout out to all the teachers as we show our appreciation for all they do. I'm Brooklyn.
You're watching Bulldog Bites.
Video Media 1 students have been learning how to film an interview on someone with a skill or hobby. Here's a look at a few of them.
Playing an instrument at the high school level takes a lot of time and practice to do.
I play my instrument every single day in band class and in my 8th period study hall. I have one scheduled lesson every week on Wednesday.
Lawson started playing trumpet in the 5th grade at Clark Elementary.
In 5th grade, the middle school music teachers came down showing us different instruments, letting us play them, and I just fell in love with playing the trumpet.
Lawson hopes to continue to play in the band throughout the rest of his time in high school.
I read because the more I read, the more relaxed I feel, and I can just really zone out the world and just read. My favorite book is The Hate You Give.
What genre do you like?
Genres I like, I really love mystery, romance. My favorite author is probably Angie Thomas.
I like drawing stick figures because I find it more easy to draw and stuff. I do this in my free time whenever I'm bored or feel a little silly. I do like drawing in general because I've drawn for a very long time and I find it easy. What inspired me is myself, because that was the first thing I've drawn mostly, my first self-portrait. I've drawn them for a very long time because that was the first thing I ever drew mostly. I have because I've learned how to draw better and all of that.
You'll see more of these in the next few weeks. However, we really want to say thank you to all teachers. So here's some thank yous from various students and staff and from all of Bulldog Bites.
It's Teacher Appreciation Week. I'm here with Bulldog Bites asking people what teacher they appreciate the most. Here we have Miss Eisbrand.
I'd have to say the teacher that influenced me the most was probably my 6th through 8th grade language arts teacher, Mrs. Burgod.
Mrs. Hogriff, because she's my mom. Probably Miss Ritchie, because she cares about her students.
Who's a teacher that you appreciate the most and why?
Wickers, because he taught me how to build things.
Mr. Tardivi, and because he's a cool guy.
Tardivi.
Who's one teacher that you appreciate the most?
Mrs. Eisenbrain.
Why?
Because she lets me use her foam rollers.
Mrs. Eisbrand, because she knows everything.
Mr. Struck from 8th grade because, he was the GOAT and he let us eat pizza.
Who's one teacher that you appreciate the most and why?
Ms. Anderson, because she's very helpful and she's cool.
Miss Tonsfeld, she was my English teacher and she was just very nice and very, just helped us kids out a lot.
Mr. Dalton, because he makes good jokes.
I'm not gonna lie, Miss Dunn, bruh. She's funny. She's real funny, bruh.
We love Miss Dunn.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks to all our teachers.
Thank you all of the teachers for all you do. Thank you to Miss Hess for helping me learn.
Thank you, Mr. Kazel, for being an awesome teacher.
Thank you, Mr. Bruce. Thank you, our teacher, to support us to learn more.
Thank you, Mr. Kander, for being an awesome PE teacher.
Thank you, Mr. Kazel, for pushing us to our limits on our homework.
Thank you, Mrs. Haas, for being my favorite third grade teacher.
Thank you all of the teachers for helping us learn.
Thank you, Mr. Kazel, for being so supportive.
Thank you for all the teachers helping us learn.
Thank you, Mrs. Scheidler.
Thank you, all of the teachers, for helping me when I felt sad.
Thank you all teachers for being kind and nice.
Thank you, Mr. Kazel, for preparing us for 6th grade.
Thank you, Mr. Kazel, for being the best teacher.
Thank you, teachers, for all that you have done.
I thank Hazel, all the other teachers.
Thank you, Mr. Kazel, for teaching us.
I'm going to thank Mr. Kazel for helping us learn really good things like math. I'm also going to thank Mrs. Husk for being a good teacher in the past.
Thanks for all the teachers letting us learn and having fun.
Thank you, Mrs. Johnson.
Thank you, Mrs. G.
Thank you, Mrs. J. Thank you, Mrs. J.
Thank you, Mrs. G. Thank you, Mr. Hightree.
Thank you, Mr. Hightree. Thank you, Mr. Hightree. Thank you, Mrs. Garen.
Thank you, Mrs. Fowler.
Thank you, Mrs. Paulsma.
Thank you, Mrs. Johnson. Thank you, Mr. Hightree.
Thank you, Mrs. Galen. Thank you, Mrs. Huss.
Thank you, Mrs. Anthony.
Thank you, Mrs. Hodge.
Thank you, Mrs. Gray.
Thank you, Miss Pick. Thank you, Mrs. Atkin.
Thank you, Mrs. Jeremiah.
Thank you, Mrs. Schrader.
Being a teacher requires a great deal of patience, creativity, and dedication. The teachers and staff at the Lamar's Community School have gone above and beyond to make sure their students have the tools and support they need to succeed. We know that each of our teachers are wonderful.
Thanks to all our teachers!
Thanks for watching.